There are two kinds of rich. There's the kind everybody can see, the house, the car, the fit, the feed, and there's the kind nobody can see, a quiet number, growing in an account no one's looking at. These two are usually pulling in opposite directions. Every pound you spend looking wealthy is a pound that isn't making you wealthy, and it gets worse. The better you get at looking rich, the easier it is to never notice that you're not. That's the whole trap. That's this entire video in one sentence, because I'm going to show you this exact trap wearing 4 different costumes across 4 different generations. Let me introduce you to 4 people. Robert's 68, bought a beautiful house in the suburbs back in the 80s, raised a family, looked like a man who had it all figured out. And honestly, for a long time he did. Karen's 52, good career, nice car, a holiday every year. If she had an Instagram, you'd swear she was thriving. Marcus is 38, worked hard, paid off his loans slowly, watched his friends buy houses he couldn't touch, and spent his weekends at brunch. Because, well, what else was he saving for? And Zoe's 24, TikTok, a side hustle, a Stanley Cup, and 3 months into her investing journey. The most financially aware human her family has ever produced. 4 people, 4 decades, 4 completely different money situations. And every single one of them walked into the exact same trap. Not a similar one, the same one, just dressed for the decade. Let me show you. Robert grew up watching his parents rent their whole lives. And in the post-war world, owning a home wasn't just shelter. It was the signal. It said, you made it. Picket fence, the whole dream. So when the bank slid Robert the biggest mortgage he could qualify for, he took it. Of course he did. That was the move. And here's the thing. In the 80s, it worked. That house became worth 4 times what he paid for it. On paper, Robert is wealthy. But look behind the house. Robert's 68, and almost his entire net worth is trapped inside the 4 walls he actually lives in. The pension he counted on shrank when his company restructured. His savings won't comfortably cover 25 years of retirement. And selling the house means leaving the only neighborhood he's known for 40 years. The house wasn't the mistake. Believing the house was the whole plan. That was the mistake. The arrival was real. The foundation underneath it had gaps. Now, Karen. Karen's trap was quieter. It never felt like one decision. It felt like 100 small, reasonable ones. Every time she got a raise, and she got several, her life expanded to match it. Promotion at 32, upgrade the car. 6 figures at 38, bigger house. Then the better school. Then the overseas holiday. Every single choice made perfect sense. She could afford it. She'd earned it. That's called lifestyle creep. And it's just Robert's trap, wearing a business casual outfit. The problem was never that Karen spent money. It's that her spending climbed exactly as fast as her income. So after earning more than both her parents ever did, her savings rate barely moved. The gap between what came in and what went out stayed the same, just at a bigger number. Think about that for a second. She got richer and saved about the same, just with a nicer car to not save it in. At 52, Karen looks successful, and in some ways, she is. But she's 10 years from retirement, and the math is tighter than it has any right to be. Her arrival signal was lifestyle, and she paid for it every month on direct debit forever. Now, Marcus. And if you're a millennial, hear me say this first. The system genuinely moved against you. 2008 wiped out an entire generation's early careers, right at the moment they were supposed to be building a foundation. But here's the trap you walked into anyway. When you can't afford the old signals of arrival, a house, a pension, real equity, you start spending on the ones you can afford. And for millennials, that meant experiences, travel, restaurants, concerts, the good coffee, the weekend trips, and the whole culture cheered it on. Spend on experiences, not things. You can't take it with you. Live your life. Every brand, every caption told millennials this was the enlightened way to do money, that the old generations had it wrong. Marcus spent his late 20s and early 30s collecting genuinely beautiful memories. But at 38, he has almost nothing invested, no property, and a low hum of anxiety that he quiets by booking the next trip. The trap wasn't the experiences. It was using experiences as a substitute for building assets, and having an entire cultural movement swear to him that that was wisdom. Same trap, different clothes, a passport instead of a picket fence, and then Zoe. Gen Z is the most financially literate generation in history. They know what an index fund is at 19. They talk about compound interest like it's small talk. So surely they escaped it? Not quite. Their version is the most visible trap ever built because it lives online. For Zoe, the arrival signal isn't a house or a passport. It's an aesthetic, the fit, the desk setup, the apartment that films well, the brands that quietly announce, I have taste, I have money, I've arrived, to an audience of thousands. And here's the cruel twist. She's doing all of this while investing. Zoe puts £50 a month into a stocks and shares ISA, and she's proud of it, and she should be. But she's also spending $200 a month on things whose main job is how they look on her feed. So her trap isn't ignorance, it's performance. She knows all the right words. She just sometimes uses them to perform wealth instead of build it. Posting about investing while the actual number stays small. Talking about financial freedom while the spending quietly says otherwise. Zoe's not doomed, not even close. She's 24 and already ahead of where Marcus was. But the trap is there, set and waiting, wearing a ring light and a very carefully chosen background. So, 4 people, 4 decades, 1 trap. Now the good news. Because people do escape this. Every generation has them. And when you look at what they did differently, it's almost always the same one thing. They separated the signal from the substance. They made a quiet decision to look less wealthy than they actually were, so that their real wealth could grow faster. They drove the older car, stayed in the smaller place, skipped a couple of trips, passed on the upgrade, and they took the difference and put it somewhere that compounds. It's not complicated, it just runs against every social instinct we have, which is exactly why even smart, careful people fall for it. For Robert, escaping it looks like, keep the house, but fund the pension just as hard. Don't bet it all on one asset. For Karen, 1 lifestyle upgrade per raise, bank the other half. Let the income outrun the lifestyle. For Marcus, 1 big trip a year, not 4. And automate the difference into an index fund every month until you forget it's even happening. For Zoe, make the investing the thing she posts about. Build the real number faster than she builds the look of it. And if you want one rule to carry out of this, here it is. Assets first, lifestyle second, every time. Not forever, just until the assets are doing enough of the work that the lifestyle is genuinely paid for. That's the move. That's what everyone who got it right figured out. Because none of these 4 are stupid. None of them are bad with money. They just did what their generation told them arrival was supposed to look like. And they chose looking arrived over being arrived. So here's what I want to leave you with. And I want you to actually sit with this one. Which version of the trap are you in right now? Is it the house that holds all your net worth? The lifestyle that grew with every pay rise? The experiences that felt like living but quietly replaced building? Or the aesthetic that performs wealth without ever quite creating it? Tell me in the comments. Not to be judged, genuinely. Because the first step out of any trap is being able to say its name out loud. And if this hit a little too close to home, you probably already know which generation you are. Send it to them.